Hello, this is Matt Bergman, and you're listening to the Punk Rock Libertarians podcast, episode 80. I'm here tonight with Alexis Schlegel.
Hi, Matthew.
And Josh Stavolophagos.
Good evening, gents.
So, wow, you know, we had Pussygate this week.
Pussygate.
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 Yeah, before we get to that, let's talk about some statism.
Okay, dude.
Baltimore statism.
Dude, I wanted to grab the pussy, but I guess I
grab
can wait a little bit, dude.
How does one grab said pussy?
Dude, we grab all the pussy. Don't front.
Okay. But, yeah, dude, I was fucking pissed today, man. Like, so I Ubered all weekend, you know, just trying to make some money, just trying to make ends meet, you know, making that money. And I guess without a visual, it's kind of like not really good podcast material. But I took a lot of pictures of said no parking sign in Baltimore. And Josh could probably attest to this. But so I park, and I'm like, all right, there's no reason why anybody should not park here. And basically go to my local bar after Ubering for a couple hours in the morning to drop off a lot of people going to the Ravens game. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go to my local bar, watch the Eagles game, you know, which they fucking lost. But anyways, I digress. Come back to my car, get a fucking parking ticket. It's like probably about a $56 parking ticket for no fucking reason. And the sign said, like, no, Monday through Friday. It was like one of those cryptic signs. You ever come across those, like, cryptic no parking signs where it's like you got to get, like, a Dakota ring to see, like, whether or not the state approves, like, you park in said location.
Yeah, it's got like 15 different regulations depending on times and days.
Yeah.
Except on holidays.
Yeah, so there's two cars in front of me. I'm like on the borderline. So then I come back to the car after I see the parking ticket. I'm like, God damn. And I see like it said no parking Monday through Friday except Saturdays and Sundays. But then there was one arrow saying parking. There was an arrow pointing parking, and then there was another arrow like in the opposite direction saying no stopping. And I was like right on the cusp of it. But there was a car fucking parked behind me when I parked, like, so, I don't know. I took a bunch of pictures. I asked a couple people on the streets. I was like, what do you think about this? And they're like, this is fucking cryptic. Like, this is some bullshit. And they're like, all right, well, take some pictures of, like, don't take a picture of the sign, but take some pictures, like, go to court, fight it. Maybe they'll half it. But I'm like, half it, schmaff it. Who gives a fuck? Like, this is bullshit. There's no fucking goddamn reason why anybody should be parked there. So it brings to the bigger picture. It's like, look, okay, it's this whole fucking city just caters to the unproductive, fucking just illegitimate, just fucking, like, why should productive individuals that want to go downtown to spend money, you know what I'm saying? Like, go out, drink some beers, you know, like, go to said establishment.
Yeah, you grab some pussy.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying, it's just, like, basically what I'm saying is statism punishes the responsible and rewards the irresponsible. That's basically what I gathered from my parking ticket. Does that make any sense? I think it does. But, so anyways, I guess I might have to take a half day, go to court, fight the fucking bullshit. I don't know, but it just really irked me. But that's Baltimore statism. So Josh, you said you.
I also recently got a parking ticket in the lovely upper portion of Baltimore known as Hamden. You know
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was there. You know, in all its glory. I really I used to live there. I love that neighborhood. It's got a little something about it. But so I park, and they got the old crank meters. I throw like 6 quarters into it, crank it, it goes all the way up for 2 hours. I'm like, okay, so I leave. Apparently, if you put too much, I put like a quarter more than I needed to. If you put too much money in, it goes right back to the beginning.
What? Wow.
So
it goes
out, yeah. So it's a glitch. Like it goes right back to you. No one's paid money on this thing at all.
So you maxed it beyond the maximum.
Yeah, and so
capacity.
it went back to the front, and it said I never fucking paid. And then I left, so I come back. I'm like, what the fuck is this? this guy, a cop, and this is how stereotypical this cop was. He looked exactly like any cop you'd expect to see in a Hollywood movie. You know, like stereotyped. You know, larger, portly gentleman. With his blue on and short sleeves. He's got this fucking like the nightstick with the leather strap that he's people like spin around. Yeah. He was fucking doing that, dude.
He's ready to beat down motherfucker.
He's like walking around, like spinning around, like he's doing fucking cane tricks in an alleyway. And then he just puts a ticket on there. Oh, you never paid. I did pay. Well, the machine says you didn't pay. Like, but I did pay. Well, there's no way to prove you didn't, so now you owe money. I'm like, this is extortion. There's no way to prove that I didn't.
I want to pay right now, fucking dick.
Yeah, this is what this guy does.
It's like, aren't I supposed to be innocent until proven guilty? Isn't that supposed to be like what separates us from all the places that are not free?
You expect that.
I mean, it really brings like, okay, so case in point. So this morning I was like, all right, I'm gonna get up. I know I was gonna go to my Eagles bar, watch the Eagles fucking lose today. But anyways, so I was planning on doing that regardless. But I was like, all right, I'm gonna get up this morning. The Ravens had a home game. I might as well just like make a little extra money Ubering because I knew like a bunch of people were probably going downtown to watch a football game.
Yeah.
So, long story short, but I'm just like driving downtown and you see the amount of traffic cops. And you see the amount of security, and you see the amount of like just statism in and around the stadium, and you wonder like, why did they? I don't know. It just makes you wonder why like they allocate so much resources to directing traffic and finding people for parking offenses, as opposed to like, I don't know, maybe let's go maybe like spend. I don't know, not even, like, let's spend, like, I don't know, a quarter of our time, money, and resources to, I don't know, maybe investigating a fucking murder or a rape or crimes with true victims. Not like, oh, let's just walk around arbitrarily and just go, like, look at these signs that are cryptic to begin with and find people arbitrarily for parking in places that, well, why the fuck can't I park here? I'm not blocking a driveway. It's not private property, you know? Or I love the fact you have public school. There's a public school right by the stadium, and there's like some fundraiser charging $20 to park there. I'm like, it's a fucking public school. My tax dollars go to pay for this fucking school. I should be able to just like, I don't know, just roll up here and park on a fucking Sunday so I can go to said bar to watch.
I never thought about that.
I mean, think about it. You fucking
I've
paid
never
for
thought about that,
so
actually.
You're quasi-privatizing something that's public, like. It really kind of was just like, not to mention that all these so-called are basically, okay, so let's pay, I don't know all the backstory on M&T Bank Stadium, but chances are probably the stadium is funded by taxpayer dollars when they built the stadium. Heavily. Most sports stadiums nowadays are funded heavily by taxpayer dollars. Yet, they want you to come down there, like pay for fucking parking for something that you already fucking paid for, or paying to park on public streets that you already fucking paid for through your tax dollars, and then you're reading these cryptic signs, and you probably you think you're doing the right thing, but like, oh no, guess what? You still got a fucking parking ticket, and oh, by the way, like, hey, you schmuck, you're probably going to pay it anyways because you're not going to want to take a half day or a whole day vacation to go down to downtown Baltimore court, to the court to fucking fight the shit, It's just really I don't know. It just really irked me today about that, but I digress.
Word.
But that's all I got. That's all I got to say about that. But I'm going to go fight it. I'm going to go to court, and I'll update you on that, Matt. How that goes.
Sweet, bro.
Yeah. So big topic of the day is Donald, don't grab the pussy.
Pussygate.
Pussygate.
Fucking Pussygate.
Pussygate.
What a fucking idiot.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm sure if we were recording our own private conversations, we probably had some things we we probably regret that we would say. But at the same token, the fact, I find is shocking is that people are shocked that he said that.
Yeah.
It's like,
are people really shocked? Or are they just playing? You know what I mean?
No, you know what? I actually got. I told you guys, like, somebody on Facebook unfriended me and said that that post about you made about Donald Trump and was it 50 Shades of Grey with that post compared them. So you obviously you support rape culture because you support Donald Trump. I'm like, what? I'm talking about like how people are selectively outraged. It's like, okay, let's say, okay, he says deport all Muslims. He's for killing their families. He said that openly, kill them, kill their families. It's like the guy is already twisted to begin with. He's had 3 wives. He wants to what? He wants to deport all Mexicans because they're all rapists. Is anybody surprised that when he talks about his own?
I love the moral outrage of all these they're all like Hillary supporters, and it's like, how about her husband? How about you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, they never bring that up.
Yeah.
But and when somebody does bring it up, the argument's going to be, well, he's not running for president.
Yeah, well, but she still, I don't know, like, she still stood by him, Like, throughout all that, he was Rapey McRaperton in the Oval Office, and yet
the oral office, I believe, is what they referred to it then. The oral office.
Not only did he wasn't grabbing pussy, he was shoving cigars up that shit.
I was to say, I really with a Cuban.
I mean,
do you think they were Cuban?
Though it was consensual, though.
That's true. That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean. Hey,
I bet you.
And Donald Trump wasn't grabbing pussy either. He was just talking about grabbing.
He was talking about grabbing.
What kind of cigar do you think it was, though?
But not only that, but dude, how about this? Like, full circle. We spent more money, like taxpayer dollars, investigating like her husband sticking cigars up Monica Lewinsky's than. Like Stogygate. Like, we spent more, our tax dollars, we spent more taxpayer dollars on that than we did on, I don't know, investigating 9/11. But I don't want to get all Alex Jones on this shit. But, you know what I'm saying?
Wait, would this technically be Pussygate 2?
What's that?
Would this be Pussygate 2? Revenge of the Pussy?
Yeah. I mean, the fucking hypocrisy. It's just fucking ridiculous. It's just... I mean, don't get me wrong. They both suck. They're both horrible human beings. They're both horrible individuals. It's just insane that, that this is what did you expect? It's fucking Donald Trump.
Exactly. Nothing he says is shocking. But you know what? You know what's even funnier that no one's noticed? I really think this is the best part. When he was bragging, he only bragged about doing that type of stuff once. Other than that, he started bragging about how much he makes out with girls. Like, how much of a teenager do you sound like? I make out with chicks. Like, that was what he was bragging about.
Hey, cool. 8th grade.
Better bring my Tic Tacs. Better bring my Tic Tacs. I want to make out with some chicks. Like, who the fuck does that? Yeah. That's another way. He's a fucking child. I mean, come on. The guy's a fucking child. He really is. He's a child. He's bragging about making out with girls. That's something a child does. I mean, he's so confused. He doesn't know whether he's a bro, a bro man dude who's like, yo, bro, I grab like tons of pussy, bro, or whether he's a child bragging about making out. It's like he's trying to figure out how far he needs to go.
It's still, I don't know, man. Like, the whole thing, it just ties into like. Now, don't get me wrong. What he said is fucked up. I mean, it's wrong. But the fact that was like 11 years ago, and the fact
while
that
he was a Democrat.
Oh yeah, no one's mentioning that. Donald Trump was a Democrat.
And the fact, and then what really is insane is the fact that, okay, let's just say leading up to the Republican nominee, right? Why would this not come out prior? You know what I mean? Like, why would this not come out prior? Now, it did come out, on Access Hollywood, which is a show on NBC, which is, let's all look at the mainstream media. Typically, I mean, not that I'm defending Republicans by any stretch of the means. Any stretch, I'm not defending. But what I'm saying is the mainstream media is basically, let's face it, with all these revelations of Hillary, more or less just cheating the fucking Democrat, the whole process, cheating Bernie and the whole convention and the delegate situation and just her, sketchy past. Who say, and this is tying into what we're going to talk about next, this is the WikiLeaks, where basically Trump was, put forth to basically be the candidate that's just going to be, a straw man to allow Hillary to be vaulted to the presidency.
Yeah. I mean, the WikiLeaks definitely showed that they were looking for what they considered Pied Piper candidates, people that can basically drum up the rats, which is what they viewed as basically any type of dissentful extremes, I guess. Which is, I don't even know why I would just call that, but that's the extreme segments of his support are the only ones that get any type of press.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like somebody like John Kasich or Rand Paul, probably would have, fared much better against Hillary Clinton.
The more reasonable people within the Republican Party were drowned out by this figure that was just vaulted. It just goes back to I just remember when he first announced he was gay, I was like, look, this is a front. This is a front. This is bullshit. I just don't see how, but he latched on to the emotions of, irrational people.
You know what the funniest thing is? I've noticed a lot of people saying that, that there's guilt by association now, that Pence is basically guilty of any type of thing that Donald Trump does because he's responsible for his running mate. Would that mean that, that, I don't know, Hillary should, claim that too?
I mean, it's just, I'm not that, I don't want to sit here and defend any fucking, the Republican Party.
I don't think people realize
I cannot stand the Republican Party. I'm done with the Republican Party.
But I don't think people I don't know if people realize that the established, that Hillary and Trump are friends. They are running together. It may seem that they're running against each other. They are running together.
Dude, I thought that all along. Right from the get-go. Wait a minute. This is really? It just seems too convenient that, and the way things are, coming out. As soon as these WikiLeaks drop, the WikiLeaks drops about that the DNC was basically encouraging, not only encouraging, but basically Donald Trump run. We need, that comes out simultaneously with his gaffe that has just been in the media cycle 24/7. And the fact that everybody's up in arms about it, which they should be, because what he said was fucked up. But at the same token, it's just it takes away. It could just keep shining the spotlight on someone who's been more or less outside the political system, and someone like Hillary, who, I don't know, has been part of the machine and responsible for all the shit the past 30, 40 years. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention that she's so fucking corrupt, and she basically, it's been proven she's rigged, that her and Debbie Wasserman Schultz and all of them have basically rigged
her nomination completely.
Exactly, and the whole process. But disregard that. But Trump said some lewd shit. Well, why are you shocked by that? It's fucking Trump. Are you serious? Would you really? You think he had something really?
That's what I mean. But the thing is that they're shocked that he would say that. But then they're not shocked when you say, hey, look at the shit that Hillary's done, on record. Also on record. Oh, that's not this all. That's totally not the same. It's selective hypocrisy.
Yeah. I mean, it's really. I don't know, man. It is such a shit show, and it's just insane that like, like that the reason is just out the window. You know that people can't see through this whole just charade. You know, it's all bullshit, and people still like think there's. I don't know, man. I don't know.
We also have that. We also have the proof now from the Center for Investigative Journalism just found that the Pentagon paid $500 million for a outside source to make propaganda ISIS and Al Qaeda films.
Yeah, like that's the thing that's fucking insane is the mainstream media is fixated on all these like this whole campaign where you like honestly and not to get like too Alex Jones, but it's almost like it's fucking true. It's like they're throwing these stories out there, you know, digging up shit that he fucking said, like grab her by the pussy. No fucking. Why are you shocked by what he would say? Like, no shit. Like, you shocked that he would these foul words and actions would come from this man? And then 11 years ago, but yet what's buried in the media, and then you know not only that, but everything else is going on, like the whole like Kim Kardashian like getting robbed and all that. That's all in the mainstream media and this and that. But what's buried. It is like I don't know. 5 species of honeybees are on the endangered species list. You know what? We're about to go to war with Russia at any given moment. You know, like because of the fallout with diplomacy with Syria. You know, with what's going on in Syria. What you know, and the WikiLeaks. And like, there's so many things that are buried in the mainstream. Yet we're focused on some dumbass who's somehow the Republican nominee who said grab her by the pussy 11 years ago, like, and somehow we're shocked by that. You know what I mean? It's just fucking insane that like that the Americans are so focused on like this stupid shit, and there's so much more like important issues that are just buried. You know?
Yep.
It's sad. It's really sad. Like, I kind of want to watch this debate tonight just to joke around about it, but, like, it's almost to the point where I'm like, I'm sick of this fucking joke. Like, I'm sick of this fucking joke. Like, this, enough. Fucking enough. You know? But it's almost to the point where it's just like, you know what? Like, this is the way it's going to go. You know? It's just, this is how it's going to end. Just as a fucking joke.
I honestly think the same thing. I don't know. And I mean, all conspiracy theory aside, I don't know how this country is going to survive whoever is elected. I think it's the first time I think I've ever said that and meant it.
Yeah, I'm almost to that point, dude. Like, where I don't know, man. There's such a disconnect between the vast majority. Like, you talk, like, look, and anybody that's tuning in right now, anybody that's going to listen, they're on board. They know what's going on. They see through the bull. But talk to your everyday person. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, talk to just people that are apolitical or not involved or just not, like, just get where they're coming from.
You know, actually, because I did have a conversation with that, you know, with a guy that I work with. He posted, like, something on Facebook where it's like, oh, like, just how Donald Trump is horrible, blah, 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 you know, about the whole Pussygate thing. And I just commented, I'm more offended by Hillary's actions of, you know, murderous foreign policy, you know.
Than Donald Trump's words.
Yeah, and his reply was...
Actions more than words,
his
right?
reply was, and you're an idiot. It's okay. Yeah, I'm an idiot for being more offended by murder than Donald Trump talking about some pussy.
No, Matt. You're an idiot for knowing, like, actually, like, knowing what's really going on and actually digging, like, getting into the weeds and actually trying to figure out, like, no.
Pussy in the weeds.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's really and you know what? And
dude, I literally I got livid about this, dude. And then then I proceeded to have an argument with him today at work. And I brought up foreign policy, and he's just like, his response was, "War is inevitable."
Really?
Yeah, his response is, "War is inevitable."
Right.
It's like, so apparently he doesn't understand the military-industrial complex. He doesn't understand how Hillary votes for all these wars. Everybody doesn't,
Right.
But
that's like,
yeah, Hillary
dude, that's
votes
what
for
pissed
him.
me off. That's what pissed me off about like the whole, everybody's up in arms about like Gary Johnson's Aleppo gaffe. It's like, okay, total got you question by the mainstream, CFR, New World Order, fucking Pentagon, military industrial complex, fucking got you question that, basically we're going to make you look bad because we're propping up a candidate that Hillary Clinton, who's responsible for this awful fucking foreign policy of, I don't know, selling arms and propping up dictators and using our taxpayer dollars to fund, like, ISIS and Al Qaeda in Iraq to overthrow Assad. She's fucking responsible for this shit. And then you're gonna get so fucking upset because Gary Johnson's like, this is a got me question, like Aleppo, like what the fuck?
I know, it's like, okay, well,
you're gonna get upset about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't be too upset about it because Gary Johnson's not thinking about bombing all these places.
Right.
And I gotta say too, one thing
she redirected State Department funds in through Yemen to go and actually fund the weapons that they bought wound up being given to ISIS. Like, this is literally where the money taxation is theft. That's why I think taxation is theft, because this is bullshit.
Here's the thing, and this might offend some of our women listeners, but here's the thing.
But I'm gonna say something misogynist. Go.
No, not misogynist.
I'm just fucking with you.
It's not misogynist, but it's just, here's the thing. You're dumbass feminists that don't think through this shit. Are just looking through the lens of like, oh, Donald Trump said some grab him by the pussy, whatever.
Dude, I don't think it's going to offend any of our listeners, dude. I don't think you're going to offend any of our listeners, dude.
That's true.
I mean, these people have probably stuck up with us through a lot.
That's true. But what I'm saying is, if they recommend this and then they hear me talking about this, be like, oh, this misogynistic asshole Alex is talking. But
Alexis Slagle, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
You can find him on Facebook.
You can friend me on Facebook. Bring the hate. But what I'm getting at,
you can find him on Grindr too, gentlemen.
Yes, but what I'm getting at is like this just plays into the mainstream
Uber dungeon porn.
Like anybody that's reasonable should be able to see through this bullshit. That it's just like, all right, it's just a deflection. It's just a deflection. Like, all right, yeah, Donald Trump's a fucking asshole. Why are you not? You're shocked by what he says? Okay. But then, okay, so this is going to play into that, like, fembot, like, we support Hillary, I'm with her, we need the first woman elected as president. Meanwhile, she's a murderous,
it's a fembot.
fucking corrupt, fucking, like, piece of shit. You know what I'm saying?
One thing I want to say...
that no woman should ever look up to.
One thing I want to say, while we're on the topic of presidential candidates and foreign policy... I want to talk about, Donald Trump. There's been some libertarians for Trump, and one constant argument is, and I've watched a lot of debates and I've heard Trump say this. He's ragged on the U.S.'s participation in regime change. He thinks we should have never went to Iraq. He's like actually able to point this out, and he's able to say that we shouldn't do it. It hasn't worked out well for us.
Yeah, well, that's one reason why you wonder why the powers that be are against him.
Totally. Well, yeah, totally. And it's one of those things. It's one of the few things. It's one of the few things, and it's the main thing that I like that Trump has said.
Right.
It's the only thing that he said where I'm like,
of him.
Exactly. Yeah. Totally. I mean, he says a lot of really shitty things too, but I've liked that. Yeah. Then, did you see the VP debate the other night?
I had better things to do. I watched sleep.
Dude, Mike Pence is like the ultimate fucking warmonger. So it
just goes to show so good at lying, though. He's so good and calm. Yeah, well,
collected. He was a great debater. Totally, he was a great debater.
So would you say he was a master?
He's a masturbator. He was a master debater. Oh dear God!
Yeah, but I mean, he's the biggest warmonger ever, and he's talking about more foreign policy, more violence. He's talking about how the Obama administration was weak.
That's why I don't take anything serious.
Did anyone
Trump.
catch what he said though? He said, "I am a Christian. I am a conservative. I am a Republican." In that order. In that order. So he basically just said, you're not voting for a conservative or a Republican as much as you're voting for a religious person. You're voting for my religion as vice president. That's insane. That's literally, if anyone else said that, that's political suicide.
Yeah.
No one actually ever says, you know what? You're voting for... If it came back to me and said, you're voting for a Muslim first. I'm a Muslim first. So think about when you vote, you're voting for a Muslim.
Yeah.
No one would be like, people are like, all right, fuck this guy. I don't want to deal with this with the religion.
He's pandering to that crowd, which
Republicans
usually do. Yeah,
they have to, because I mean, that just goes to show you that these two parties are so disconnected from your average.
You know why?
American.
You gotta keep them separated.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what's going on. Like they have to. They're so disconnected.
They're fucked,
and they're holding on to something that just doesn't exist anymore.
The craziest thing is though is how obvious this sham is. It's so. It's not even obvious anymore. It's happening.
Yeah, I mean,
you've become a part of it.
Totally, it's gotten more obvious, and I feel like more and more people are waking up. And despite what a lot of the naysayers have been saying, I do think Gary Johnson's bringing people towards libertarianism this election. And I feel like
so.
Oh, dude, I mean, I can tell you because I have the I support Gary profile picture. And I can tell you, I get 5 to 10 new friend requests a day from other people with that picture, and it's crazy, and it's all I'll have 100 or 200 mutual friends. It's like, and it seems like a lot of newbies are coming out of it, and since Gary's brought them here, because I think all of us are in agreement that Gary isn't the most purist libertarian.
No, we are.
I mean,
no.
Yeah. I mean,
I had this conversation with my dad tonight. Like before I came over here, I was talking, and my dad was kind of to the point where, not to the point where he, for months ago, he it wasn't that he was supporting Trump, that he would vote for him, but he was kind of like, oh, I like what he has to say. He's upsetting the apple cart. That was my dad's go-to phrase. I'm like, Dad, so the fuck what? He says some outlandish shit. GOP is bullshit. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? And
well, I mean, Trump's enemies are his greatest appeal.
The GOP is making
my dad was like, I might consider voting for him. I'm like, really, Dad? I mean, not that I give a fuck about voting, but I'm like, really, Dad? You ran for libertarian. You ran for county treasurer, county commissioner. You've been involved in the Libertarian Party. You basically I.
Well, he could have subscribed to the libertarian idea for Trump.
Yeah, but at the same token, it just really I'm like, wow, you're really going to consider voting for him? But I was just talking to him earlier tonight, just talking about really after all these revelations, what the fuck, really, Dad? And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. He basically sees it for what it is. It's imploding, it's collapsing, it's falling apart. And that's the only thing, ideally, look, I've met Gary. I pretty much, everything he says is pretty spot on to a point. He's not ideal. He's no Ron Paul. He's not a libertarian purist. There's certain things I disagree with him on, but I'm like, look, if it breaks up this two-party duopoly, fuck yeah, because you see these two parties collapsing, and I think that's
what I mean. Donald Trump is the last thing they can throw together. Is this fucking discombobulated Biff Tannen ass motherfucker?
Biff Tannen.
Honestly, he's Biff Tannen. I mean, he's fucking Biff Tannen in fucking Back to the Future.
Dude, I will forever stand by my decision from the beginning to back Gary.
Yeah.
When you look at every other person that was running for the LP presidential ticket.
Oh yeah, no, me too.
I mean,
me
they
too.
were-
Dude,
Yeah,
we could have had pyramid of pussy Peterson versus versus grab her by the pussy.
No. Here's the thing.
We could have had pyramids of pussy
here's the
versus
thing.
grab her by the pussy 2016.
But
know, man.
that's the thing.
Hey, I noticed Austin hasn't been commenting that much on
Dude,
that.
where the fuck is he? I haven't heard him. But that's what I'm saying. Like, what I'm getting at is like some libertarians can get so purist in their philosophy, and that's good. Like that's what makes us libertarian. That's what makes us different from the rest. But at the same token, you got to look at yourself at the political. If you're gonna run in this corrupt fucking system, and don't get me wrong, that's the only. Look, I think voting and it's and the whole system is rigged. But the only benefit of the system is that if you run, you can bring more people into the philosophy. So you look at what's going on right now. More people are looking at like, oh wow, like, but through being pragmatic, that like, all right, well, Gary Johnson is saying like he's pretty much libertarian on a lot of issues, and he's reasonable and he's likable, and it's like he's far better than these two choices. So yeah, if that grows the amount of people that are looking into this and thinking about it and bringing more people in the fold, fuck yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think on the two most important issues for me, the wars and the drug war, Gary's great on them.
Exactly.
And people rag that his positions aren't
consistent on like
pure enough, Yeah. But at the same time, the establishment hacks are still billing him as a pretty much anarchist.
Right. I mean, yeah.
Gary's like the young libertarian. That's what he really is. He hasn't completely gotten all there yet, in a way.
But I gotta honestly, I must almost admit that it's disappointing that he ran for president as a libertarian in 2012 and he hasn't gotten all there yet.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, and this is one of those things. I mean, I'm just being honest here.
He's the everyman.
I'm
honestly.
still
He's
gonna
the
back the guy.
everyman.
I still love Gary Johnson, but I mean, I kind of feel like he should have read up a little bit better. Maybe got some like index cards with some countries and some names of foreign leaders. I mean, he had like 4 fucking years to prepare. It's I feel like he could have played it a little bit better.
Yeah, there's some things like
he could have had a very libertarian answer, like which world leader do you admire? And he, current other world leader would you admire? That's when he could have said, you know what, as coming from a libertarian philosophy, I do not have any other world leader that I look up to.
Well, and too, it's one thing
that is alive. They asked me if they're living, not if they're dead. If we're talking about dead politicians or dead
like
whatever,
Muhammad Gandhi.
It would be very different because then he could take philosophy from a lot of it.
Yeah, you could like
he could have talked about certain aspects of the founding fathers then, which I think he probably would have done. Yeah, but no, he's left to pick with a bunch of demagogues.
One thing that I do regret was my support for Bill Weld, because out of the VP candidates, I do think we could have picked just about anybody on that stage and done a better job than Bill Weld.
Really?
I mean, he was kind of like. I think the reason why is because he's the money guy.
Well, yeah, okay. I guess
he wanted to run with like, hey, another governor.
I guess what I'm saying here is I'm willing to settle for a little bit of purity, to have a 2-term governor who's relatable to the average person, as opposed to Darryl Perry, who I might have agreed with 98% of the time, but I acknowledge that the guy sounds like a fucking retard, I'm willing to settle for that for Johnson, totally, and I'm happy with Johnson, but with Weld, it's like you lose way too much purity. You got to wonder if the guy understands libertarianism at all. Well, like one iota.
Well, Weld is not a libertarian. I honestly believe that he's the last of the liberal Republicans.
I mean, it's like in Weld, on the other hand, he's a great speaker, but if he's
a fantastic fucking speaker.
Yeah, exactly.
Man,
but if
he can talk circles around.
But if he's not
people.
Saying the right thing, who gives a shit?
I know, but dude, I don't want to compare him, but I think if you can you imagine him and Pence debating? because Pence is very well spoken. I think he's a very good speaker. He's quick on his feet. He's very calm and cool and collected.
Yeah,
I'd love to
okay.
see him and Weld go after each other.
Yeah, that would have been a good debate, but I gotta say, I'd rather go with like Will Coley all day, or Larry Sharp. I feel like he could be like the LP contender in 2020. I hope he steps it up to that, because I think Sharp running for vice president. I mean, if he would have ran for president, he might have. He might have given Gary a run for his money. I think I still would have went with Gary because I do like Gary a lot.
So that kind of like ties in like that Kennedy interview. How about that like Kennedy interview where she like basically like grilled like Bill Weld like about his kind of like libertarian stances. Like,
Well, I mean, I think we should grill the guy. I mean, he's volunteering to represent us. He should learn about us, and he should represent us. The way we want to be represented. I think. At any rate,
I don't think enough people look at that when they talk about candidates. I don't think they look at that their support of a candidate could very well be people think the way they think about them. It's like, this is the type of person you are. You support these types of things. Yeah, I think if people really researched their candidates and took more time into actually looking at them as a reflection of the voter, they would actually I think they would consider picking better people.
Word.
Because I don't think Hillary Clinton is an adequate representation of Democrats. I think Hillary Clinton is a very good representation of Hillary Clinton,
or a neocon.
Yeah, or I would say, obviously a neocon.
Yeah.
But I don't think Democrats are like this. Just like I would hope to God most people don't think that Republicans are like this. I think that's part of the whole game. We're starting to associate Donald Trump with how we view all Republicans, or Republicans are starting to associate Hillary Clinton with how they view all Democrats. That's the ultimate form of control.
and that's probably what they want. I mean,
It's exactly what
the
they
machine
want.
wants. They don't want to look at you as individuals as just group thing.
But do you see this though? I think that this is the only time I've ever had a conversation with people where we're criticizing the candidates that we support, that we're calling them out. Like, I don't hear other parties calling things out. I hear them making excuses, and I think that's the difference. What separates a lot of liberty-minded, let's say libertarians or constitutionalists, voluntarists, anarchists. I think that's what makes this type of system run better. That's why this party is better. We'll hold our own people accountable instantly for anything they say. Like, we're waiting for them to fuck up. If they fuck up, we call them out on it instantly. Other people don't.
Dude. I do think, I get what you're saying, and it's like, I think it comes down to like libertarians being more philosophical people in general. Yeah.
I honestly believe that to be true.
Because we'll totally just like argue about the philosophy of it all day.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, I feel like the difference between me and the dude at my work I was arguing with, like I think about philosophy a lot, and it's like he doesn't. A lot of people don't. I don't. I don't know. It's
I just think that if people were a little more philosophical and looked at things a little more intellectually, than how they view them, I think that they would make a much more educated decision on who to vote for.
Word.
That's all I got to say about that.
Well, that's good. So,
Pussygate.
Yeah, what's up next on the agenda, Alex?
Well, we kind of like. We kind of like went off topic here, man. We went off on a little bit of a tangent, but so topic number 2 was don't grab my pussy, the whole Pussygate. Well, we're gonna talk about like WikiLeaks coming out. Did we kind of touch on? I think we kind of touched on that, just like about how they came out with this story. Then you have. But basically, the pre-interview questions that came out with Hillary.
Oh, it was Steve Harvey. The interview with Steve Harvey. Yeah, it was a memo. That memo was leaked. That she received the questions ahead of time. It was also leaked by one of her staff members. That a week prior to the first debate, that those questions were leaked to her as well. which is anyone surprised that she's corrupt?
Yeah, I mean,
This isn't even like people are calling her out in her shit anymore. This is just conditioning now.
Yeah.
Let everybody know, hey, guess what? This is how things are done. So, we're tired of pretending that we do things fair. We're just going to do it out in the open. People are accepting of it, and they don't mind.
Yeah.
It just
It
boggles
just
me.
plays into, like, all of that is lost in the in the hype and the media hype and just the
We should just start referring to it as the void, because that's what it is now. It's just void of anything.
Dude, I thought that's what we called your butthole.
The void? Fuck you, man.
Yeah, dude, Alex is always like, I'm going to go fill the void.
Exactly. I mean, it's like all these revelations are lost. Like, all these revelations are lost in the fact that, like, oh my god.
Kim Kardashian was robbed.
Yeah.
Oh God, no! And even funnier than that is the fact that the French authorities apparently want Kanye for questioning because they believe that the whole thing was an insurance fraud scandal.
Oh, probably that motherfucker's broke.
He's fucking 58 million in the hole. He's 58 million in the hole, and now the dude's probably trying to stage jewelry heists to collect the insurance money. Like, this is hysterical. Like, even the frauds are really bad at being frauds now. It's like...
Right. And yet the mainstream media is focusing on that, yet, like, hey...
this is important, though. Let's, Kanye, oh no.
But...
Hole.
Yeah. So then, so that was, like, the pre-interview questions, and then we did touch on Bill Weld, just kind of, like, is he really philosophically on board with libertarianism? And just like that whole interview with Kennedy, where Kennedy basically called him out, like, look, is this just a stepping stone for your political career? Or more or less like, look, are you really on board? Are you really,
Dude, I'm telling you, man, this is the 1970s Democrat. I said 1970s, maybe early 1980s Democrat. And this is the early 70s, maybe the 80s or early 90s Republican. These are like the moderates on both sides. Gary's more like the more crazy left guy, and then Bill Weld's the more conservative guy. They're both just the last moderates.
I don't know. I mean, Bill Weld's pretty left too. He's pretty liberal. He's pretty liberal Republican, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
I think both of them are in a way, and it's kind of like...
He's closer to what a true Republican is than any other Republican, I think, that's run, other than when Ron Paul ran as a Republican, because I really feel that the libertarian philosophies are what the Republicans originally stood for. I mean, if you look at their early manifestos, I mean, they were completely anti-war unless there was an aggressor. They had so many more libertarian tenets to them.
Word.
Well, I think we have to defend Democrats and Republicans. On
no,
this
yeah, we don't have to
like their platforms,
yeah,
their policies,
fuck those guys.
etc.
So
fuck all that.
Yeah, we got to cut it short tonight because we're about to do a live debate heckling. So
we are.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. So
dude, why the fuck did they have a debate on Sunday night?
I don't know, dude. But
I mean, again, this is some mainstream bullshit.
I'm hoping it'll be entertaining.
Week 5 NFL football Sunday night, and it's just like, hey, we're gonna have a debate. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay. So
it doesn't make any sense.
Until next time, live free
or die.
Statism's been free, the blood that is shed. Drenching the flags of the tax bombs in red. Was its way of doing the expense of the many. So do the cards in the death machine. You can't justify killing by economic gain. For God, country, and democracy. You can put freedom in gunpoint in a foreign land. You support the troops, then bring them home. I believe that you will do the best for you. And I believe that we have the power, I hate the state, and I know I'm a slave. We can make the break the power. Society owes individuals nothing more than non-interference with natural rights. What's a virtuous person fully comprehends the non-aggression principle, the violence and the state becomes obsolete.